Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Kentucky Good Vibes. I'm your host, DISHAYNA Perkins, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing the beautiful and very talented singer, songwriter, international national recording artist, better known as Castella. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most certainly welcome. So tell us, who is Castella?
Well, let's see. Castella is, I have this hashtag, and not hashtag on my website, but it's called Castella is love, light, and music.
Mhm.
That's who I am. But I'm really just your girl next door. And I am, like you said, I'm a singer, songwriter, international, national recording artist. And I'm just a wife, a mom, a sister, cousin, a friend, best friend, all that good stuff. And I'm just living the dream right now. That's pretty much who I am in a nutshell.
Okay, cool. So give us a brief history of your background in music.
My background, I grew up singing in church.
Mhm.
That's where most people start. They would get their start in the church with all the encouragement and everything. And so started there with our young choir called the Little Angels Choirs, where I had my first song, my first solo.
Mhm.
Kind of worked through all the choirs at different ages. Once you age out, you go to the next one. And I've been in a couple of groups
Mhm.
in my day. And so, it kind of advanced to singing with another friend who got me to a studio where we were doing a couple of songs for him. I was singing background, and I met the engineer there named Daryl Swan,
Mhm.
who, kind of asked me if I had thought about doing an EP, just
Mhm.
something to have, with my voice on it. And I could say, hey, share it with people and say, hey, here's my record. And of course, I had never thought about doing anything like that. But just that little, hey, do you want to do that, turned into all of this, and, I kind of tapped into being a songwriter and, writing both lyrics and melodies and such. And yeah, that's kind of how it all began, just really with a question, do you want to do this? And do you write lyrics and melodies? And so, I went for it. I took the plunge. And so here I am. That's how it all started.
Good to interview you. Here
Aw,
you
feels good
are.
to be here.
Who were your music inspirations growing up?
Wow, growing up, I had a several growing up. Growing up, really, I listened to a lot of gospel music. That was pretty
Mhm.
much, who my influences were gospel singers, all the
Mhm.
choirs and such. And my very first secular album I bought was by Renee and Angela. That was the very
Mhm.
first one I bought. And then I bought some Jonathan Butler. And then, I went into kind of segued into some jazz, and I fell in love with Sarah Vaughan, and then I found Regina Bell, and I found Mickey Howard, and
Mhm.
and uh, Billie Holiday, and all those different voices. And of course, I love Rachel Farrell, Diane Reeves, and so there's a bunch of people that I would say have influenced who I am. I love Luther Vandross
Mhm.
and gosh, Minnie Riperton, and just there's just a whole host of people. Karen Carpenter. I love all of the yacht rock music, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Christopher Cross, and just a whole bunch of stuff. So I have all of those different, genres and different styles of music that influence me.
Oh, cool. If given the opportunity, who would you love to work with in music or any projects that that you're pursuing in the near future?
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say they can be a dead or alive. If somebody who's not alive, I'd say I would love, love, love to work with Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross was my dream. I always wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be just be his backup singer.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
a goal, a dream of mine, was to be one of his backup singers. But going forward, there are so many people that I wouldn't mind working with.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do something with, let's see, I'm just going to throw it out there. Babyface is pretty cool. I would love to
Oh
do
yeah.
something with
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
an amazing songwriter, and, it'd be fun to collaborate on something and, write a song along with him. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, when did you first step into the recording studio and decide, like, hey, you know what? This is the song that I want to be my first EP. This is the song that I know is gonna represent me.
You know, the very first song that I wrote and that I recorded was called No Ordinary Love.
Mm-hmm.
I went in and I found a producer named Corey Stampley who, wow, you know, I put my songs on my my phone and I record, you know, the melody and the song and how it's to go. And he sent me back, you know, a little draft of the song, and I was like, oh my God, sounds wonderful. And it was just really my scratch vocal, and he produced the heck out of it. It was wonderful. And so once I got in the studio and got done with it, you know, the two friends I had in the studio with me were like, it's a hit, it's a hit. And I'm like, oh, okay. And and once we got done and Daryl had mixed it and everything, he gave me two files. One was the WAV file and one was the MP3. And he told me that, okay, so this WAV file is the one that you'll send out to people when it's ready for public consumption. And I'm like, oh, what's that mean? You know, and he just said, when you want to, you know, release it. And I'm like, oh, you think this is good enough to be released to the public? And he was like, yes. And so, you know, I think it was at that moment when he said to me, this is when it's ready for public consumption, meaning that he felt that it was good enough. And so that was a moment, really it was.
Okay. So let me see. Where do you get your ideas from when it comes to writing?
Anything. Really, it could be anything. I mean, I wrote a song that I was inspired by the mojito I had bought, you know, that was right in front of me. It's like, oh, so let's just start writing about this mojito that's in front of me. You know, songs didn't really have a lot to do about a drink, but that was just what was in front of me, and that's what I was drinking at the moment, and it inspired and invoked, you know, the words that I wrote. So it could be anything, but the foundation of mostly of what I write is love. Love, relationships, and, you know, kind of the young, free, you know, spirited love. And because that's the best kind of love, you know. And yeah, that's kind of where I get my inspiration from. I was gonna say that I do love rom-coms, and so romantic comedies.
Okay.
Movies.
I was like, huh?
Yeah, romantic comedies, that's kind of short for that. But I love that, you know, somebody looking for love, they find love, and at the end of it, you know, they have all that little drama in the middle, but at the end of it, they're in love. So, you know, I love those kind of movies. So I kind of write from that whole vein.
Okay, so outside of music, yeah. So outside of music, what are your hobbies and interests?
Outside of music, well, lately I've been doing some roller skating, which I'm not quite as good at it as I used to be. My husband bought me a bike for my birthday last year, and so we've been doing some biking, and, you know, I like to go work out. I like to cook, and yeah, just cooking, biking, and roller skating. Those are some things I like to do.
Ooh. So where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
Next 3 to 5 years, hopefully I'll still be doing, you know, recording music. And I just signed with the Kenneth Carroll agency, and that agency is going to help with me booking engagements. So hopefully I'll be, you know, on the smooth jazz circuit or some circuit out there singing. And so that's really my goal, just to get myself out there more with doing more live performances. Of course, that is all, you know, depends on how, you know, the pandemic is doing. Hopefully that will go away. But yeah, just continuing to do more music, write more music, record more music, collaborate with other people, and just kind of explore all the different opportunities that are being put in front of me.
Cool. What can be expected from listening to your music?
What can be expected? You know, I think people just kind of stop and listen, you know, just, you know, hopefully the music makes you feel good. Hopefully you can sing along with it. It can invoke emotion and hopefully get down in your soul, and that you just, ultimately, I just want people to feel good when they hear my music.
How would you best describe your music?
You know, it's, I wouldn't say it's edgy, but it's a little different. You know, it's you know, it has rhythm, it has soul. It, of course, vocally, you know, it can be a vocal roller coaster sometimes, you know, where I'll start here, and then all of a sudden, I'm at the top of the roller coaster. It's like, okay, we're gonna come down now. And but yeah, it's smooth, melodic, up tempo,
Mhm.
and I give you something when I'm singing. I definitely come from my gut and my soul when I'm singing. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge as a singer, songwriter?
Biggest challenge? Hmm, I would say just wow, that I should have an answer for that. But the biggest challenge has really been just just really staying on top of it. There's a lot of different moving parts. Just maintaining your website, staying on top of the social media, and then at the same time, when you're doing all that, really technically, I'm really running a small business. So, just learning all the ins and outs of the business, of joining a ASCAP, making sure that all of my information, all my songs are registered there, going through and working with my distributor, making sure that, everything is done properly from that standpoint. And then, hoping to capture all of my, royalties that may come to me. So yeah, all of that's been challenging but fun. And then also just working with different people, you deal with, different personalities and such, and, just having to navigate through and just being able to maintain all those relationships. I wouldn't say that's a challenge, but it definitely is something that is, part of everything. It's just the relationship building and relationship maintaining
Mhm.
and just running the small business and learning so much in the process. So it's been a little challenging, but it's been fun. Been having a great time being, this independent recording artist and just
Mhm.
learning about I have my own business at this point, and I'm like, wow, I have a business. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so over all the years you've done music, what would you say has been your most memorable moment?
A most memorable moment, I would say probably, and this has actually nothing to do with me recording, but I had an opportunity to sing the national anthem for the very first time. It was at Snoop Dogg's one of the youth championship games. But I was the manager of one of the teams, and I asked the commissioner, "Can I sing the national anthem? I've never done it." And at
Mhm.
this particular game, it was my kids were playing, and he said, sure. And no one really knew that I sang. And I got the opportunity to sing the national anthem. It was called the Home Depot Center at the time. It's went from the StubHub and now it's something else, but it's where the LA Galaxy soccer plays. But it was a great opportunity for me to sing that song. And it was amazing. It was a thrill. I'd love to do it again. So that was probably one of my most memorable moments, was doing that.
Okay, cool. Any new projects or anything coming up?
Yeah, actually, my producer, Jeff Kennedy, just sent me a track. I'm not going to say what it is, but a track that I'm going to go into the studio in a few weeks and record a song. It's a cover, and it should finish my EP, my new EP that's called "Let Me Love You," that I plan to package my last few releases. "Let Me Love You" included, and "So Glad I Met You," and the other two covers that I'm going to have. So that's something I'm working on, and a Christmas tune, of course, because that's coming up. And then I have an inspirational EP that I'm going to start working on. So I have those songs I've already written. So just got to get them produced, and then we'll do those. So that's what's on the horizon. And again, working with other people, I have a duo that wants me to do a little hook on a song for them. So I'll collaborate more and just start helping people out that want me to do a little bit here and there. And I'll start doing that and start maybe featuring on, some work of other people.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, with that said, do you have any words of advice for those seeking to get into the music industry?
Yeah. If it's your desire, I say do it. If you
Hmm.
desire to do it, hop into it. If you I always say, if you have a gift and God has given you a gift, that gift is not necessarily for you, it's for someone else. So if you're holding back on, inspirational words that, God has given you, then you're holding back because somebody else needs to hear that. So I would say if you have a dream, go for it. And, I kind of started in this a little late in my life, before doing the music, I worked in human resources. I was a human resources director, and I worked some time to get, to that spot. But, there was always the gift of music that was in me. And so being able to share the gift now is just a blessing, but it's never too late to dream, and never too late to go after, something that you're passionate about. So I would always say, don't give up and always go after it.
Okay. So is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up?
Well, sure. I would like for everyone here to, on Kentucky Good Vibes, to follow me on my website at castellamusic.com. That's where you can find me. All of my social media links are on my website.
Okay.
All of my music can be found on all of the digital platforms. There's Spotify. I definitely need Spotify followers. So, there, Apple and Amazon and YouTube, and definitely can have people to follow me on YouTube. So that's where you can find me. And it's, again, all of those links are on my website. And then as far as the music, you can just find me by typing in Castella and looking for this face and you'll find me. So that's
very
it.
beautiful, very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you once again for interviewing with me here at Kentucky Good Vibes, and I hope to follow up with you soon. And of course, any new projects, anything, you have my contact info, hit me up.
Okay, I will.
And that way I can let the fans know, new fans, old fans, whatever, know what's going on. And my friends can tell your friends, and pretty much go from there.
And so on and so on. And definitely your little baby girl, please play my music for her. Hopefully she'll like it. If the kids, if the babies like my music, I always say I'm winning.
Okay. Well, I got your information, so I'm going to have her do a video. And I'll send it to you.
I would love, if she loves it, then I know I'm winning.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.